on a summer morning. We appreciate you coming to join us. Today, we have my co-presenter, Christy Cloud. She is the one who made that intro video. And we're going to be sharing about research-based feedback with AI. This is a presentation we've enjoyed doing all conferences all last year. And so feel free to ask any questions in the chat along the way. We have two of us here, so one of us can, when the other one's presenting, can take a look and answer. And we'll go ahead and get started. Do you want to go ahead and take over the screen?
Oh, I love it when you tell me to take over. Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited that it was actually not my Wi-Fi that was doing that, because I also have too many tabs open. So I was like, oh, I'm glitching already. So if you can see on the screen, you've got your little enter code right here. We will be doing this in quizzes. Don't worry, it marked it as hard, but it is actually not. There are no questions that you even have to answer. And I misspoke, because it's not quizzes anymore. Today is actually the big reveal, and they've changed their name to Ground. So if you haven't been over there, check that out. But here's a direct link in the chat if you want to just click that instead of typing in, and we'll give everybody a minute or so to get started. And Swipe Right on AI is all about how you can match with AI to help you with your classroom goals you already have. So that it's not all about reinventing the wheel. And hopefully we'll give you a few tools today that are a lot easier to match with than perhaps Ryan is.
So we can actually say this is the first time we've ever presented in this platform, because we've never presented in Wayground before.
Well, pretty sure nobody has.
Maybe alpha testing, beta testing, quizzes, but
oh, I don't think that counts. So
it probably doesn't.
All right, so we've got 20 in. Give everybody a couple more minutes.
We have 40 people here. A couple are note takers, and we've got 22 in, and 4 of us, two of us at least, won't join.
For sure. Slowing down, so if you want me to go ahead and get started, I'll be happy to.
Oh, let's see, give it a minute.
Oh, goody. He won't let me say all the fun stuff later. So let me just point this out. If you are not a big Wayground user or quizzes user, you've got this really cool thing right here called Classroom Pulse, that if you use double screen or like you use an extended monitor on your own screens, you can pull that up and you can look at insights from your class throughout the lesson. It'll give you all of this great data, which social studies person, most people are like, what do you care? But even as a social studies person, I think data is so important. So I was the oddball out in our social studies, like in our groups, because everybody else just wanted to talk about other stuff. And I was like, let's look at how everyone did, because really that is how you're going to drive your instruction. So it's important no matter your subject area.
That was a bonus tip. Not even part of the presentation.
He won't let me give any of those later. He speeds me along.
Well, that's our plan. I'm supposed to. If I do speed it along, it's planned. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. The one thing neat about Wayground is you can join at any time. It'll let you do that. The code's up there at the top of the screen. So let's go.
Right up here. So if at any time you need to get back in, if you get disconnected or anything, it will be right up here for you the entire time. So this is all about matching feedback with appropriate ed tech that will help you promote student success in your classroom. And hopefully you'll match better than you might would have with Ryan.
Okay, the attention getting story. All right. I literally don't write the step-by-step down. I like to bring this up simply because a lot of people have had concerns about using AI for various reasons. And this is going to be direct. It's teacher directed, teacher controlled. You are going to see that you have control over everything. But still, the AI giving the feedback to some people can feel a little scary, at least when you first use it. And that's why we kind of actually like you to see it, how good it is in the role of the student. But some of you remember Jamie Lanier, who used to work here. He still teaches college classes, and he asked me to come on in and teach about AI to his class. I've done that a couple times, and they were really excited about what they learned. Said, have that guy come back. So I came back and I put him in the very first activity you're about to see after this. And they kind of mailed it in. Here's this guest lecture, and they gave a few little answers. And then I gave the instant feedback. And you could hear the whole room go, oh. And one kid audibly said, AI graded me hard. But these were future teachers. And so they were learning how to use EdTech. And I asked them to read it and say, do you feel the AI feedback is appropriate? Was it right on? And everyone was like, no, they nailed it. They nailed it. And so hopefully you'll see that today and implement it in your own instruction. We can go ahead and move on. So this is all based on, oh yeah, that's us. I'm Dave Hendricks, Director of Digital Platforms for Johnston County. And you are?
Cloud. I am an ITF at Boone Trail Elementary, and I am super excited to be here today to share some of my favorite tools with you guys.
So I am a John Hattie fanboy. If you don't know who John Hattie, if you know who Hattie is, you know where I'm going with this. Probably if you're not, if you don't, we're going to give you a really quick introduction. John Hattie has done research on what he calls effect sizes, the influences of what we do in education on learning. And it's not just his research. He's taken everybody's research and synthesized them into meta-analysis. So it's many, many studies, and he finds out if it has a positive, negative, or neutral impact. Those are called effect sizes. And his research shows that effective feedback is one of the most powerful influences. However, we always say we give feedback, and sometimes feedback is used kind of meaning a grade. But for it to be this effective, it has to be specific to that student. It has to be timely. Sooner back, the better. I always, remember giving extensive assignments that would take me days to grade, and the impact was just very much lessened every day it was given back. You're now to give it instant, immediately, and it's good. And it has to be on the learning process more than just the final product. And what I mean by that, it's got to be actionable. They have to be able to take the feedback and go, oh, that's what I did. They have to be able to take that and do something with it. And just as from a teaching standpoint, there's a lot of students, a lot going on. And I know that
this will be my 25th year in the classroom. And I'm going to tell you, at social studies, I was ELA, you're looking at tons of feedback. And there's two things you can do, right? Like, even if you're a super teacher, you're going to either give specific feedback where you tell them exactly what they need to know to grow, or again, if you do it that way, you're going to keep their papers at least a week, because I taught 7th grade the majority of my career. So you're talking about, I think 120 was like the smallest group that I had come through. So you're talking about feedback for 120 students, like, unless you drive yourself crazy, you're going to have that for a week, right? Or if you want to give it back to them in the timely part, you're going to give it back to them with that check mark. Or if you're young, maybe that smiley face or a little sad, frowny face. So you can do one of two things in your classroom for most of my teaching career. You can make it specific so that they can learn from it and grow. But by the time you give it back to them, you've already moved on to another topic. So that those specifications that you made that they need to change are no longer as relevant as they were. Or you can go route B and give them timely feedback, but all they're going to get from it is their check mark. All right, I did well. Or a question mark. My teacher's a little confused about what I did there. So they're going to get that in a timely manner, but is it really going to help them better their academic knowledge? So now, with the introduction of AI into education, for the first time in my entire teaching career, we have the ability to do what John Hattie says without driving ourselves insane. We can make it timely. We can make it specific. We can focus on the process so that we're not just giving it to them at the end when they finished everything. We can continuously give feedback throughout their process so that we are finally able to achieve this growth that he's talked about for years.
It's actionable now. And that's what John Hattie said is the most important part. They got to be able to do something with it. And when we move on, we're on with the pacing guide. And we don't want to get behind, so we don't really have time all the time. So this is a quick chart. There's another one too, if you're more familiar with it, we'll show in a second. But 0.4 is a year's growth. In his metrics is right there in the middle, 0.4. If an effect size is 0.4, you're going to get a year's growth from that technique in a year's time. And so that's good. That's what you want. You want your kids in 1 year to grow a year. But if we can improve that, it's better. And so anything above 0.4 is great. And if you look over there, feedback is higher than 0.4. It's in fact 0.7, meaning it's almost 2 years worth of growth. But you have to do it a lot, and you have to do it in the way he described.
So for my math folks out there, just to recap, over here, bad. It's in red. Stop, bad. And then everything over here from yellow on, those are your cautions, your green lights, right? This good. So right here, when we are in this, this is for my social studies brain, well, we're right here in feedback. This is very good.
Boiled it down. This is another way you'll often see it when you look up John Hattie's research, and you can see where it's labeling them. And the zone of desired effects are above 0.4, and you can see 0.7 effect size. So I think we're good on Hattie. If you have any questions on that, feel free to ask about them in the chat or later, or email us. So let's get started. Let's show.
All right. So again, what you want to look for with feedback in the process is you want it to be specific, timely, and focused on the process. And we would like to show you some ways that you can do that without pulling your hair out as a teacher. So the first one that we're going to talk about is CuraPod. Any CuraPod users in here? All right. CuraPod is one of my absolute favorite tools. It is all about classroom engagement. It's all about hooking your students into the lesson and keeping them there. So in your lesson, for those of you who have been Nearpod users in the past, you might see some similarities because it's going to give you a presentation, but it's going to add interactive elements in it. Now, the really cool thing is you don't have to make all those interactive elements like you did with Nearpod. You can generate them with AI now. It does have numerous different generators to help you create content that is impactful and it is varied so that you're not spending your entire planning time with your lesson plans. And what we're going to demonstrate today is write, feedback, repeat. However, there are so many generators and they are all so good. So if this is not a tool that you're familiar with, I definitely encourage you to give it a little check afterwards. So here is your CuraPod platform. This is Cura.live. This is what your students would see, and they're going to enter in a pin. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over here and share this side with you. And let's turn down these a little bit.
That song will get stuck in your head.
It will. And once you join, and let's go ahead and put this pin in here as well in case you guys just like to click.
And while she's doing that, you'll notice it's giving you a fun name. That's a reason. CuraPod will not do an asynchronous mode. It won't. You just create something and say, go off and do it. It's meant for classroom engagement, for discussion, for interaction. So the feedback will be right there live while you're holding it. It encourages you to have your kids turn and talk and do things away from the screen, and the screen pulls them back. And the reason they have those names is so that no student says, well, I really want to say something, but I'm afraid it's going to show up on that screen. So they have full ability to just write what they want to, and no one will know unless they, read the hand and go, I'm the cool platypus, but that's on them.
Amanda, if you didn't see the link, it is right there in the chat. You can just click that link. You don't have to worry about typing in a pen or anything. Just want to make it as easy as possible because 9 a.m. is a little early for me. So feel free to just grab that link and it should take you right there. Also, with names, besides creating a low stakes environment, you can also use it as part of your classroom management system. My students enjoyed it so much. It became like a game. Every time I would do a CurePod, they would be like, what's your favorite name? And so I would always pick out one of these from the names, and whoever got it, they would get like a dojo point. And I don't know about y'all, but my kids would go crazy over dojo points. So they felt like they won something. We'd talk about our funniest name. It was a great, just little SEL moment in my classroom.
So you'll definitely want to jump in. The link was right there in the Wayground. If you missed it, you can click in the chat. Both will get you in.
All right.
You definitely want to jump in on this to see the feedback, but we're going to move ahead. Go ahead.
All right. And we'll take this down to about 3 minutes. It normally starts, CurePod does start with 5 minutes for your writing activities, but you can adjust those as needed here. And you can also adjust it once you've even started the activity. But we're not really going to make you write a whole lot. We just want you to kind of get the feel of it. So we're going to go ahead and just set it at 3 minutes. You also, on your CarePods, your students will kind of see what activities are going on. So if they look down here, they can already see, all right, well, I'm going to get feedback on my response. So that gives them a little heads up about what they're working toward. And your question is, if you could choose one superpower to help you in class, what would it be and why would you choose it? So I used to think that that I would choose to be a mind reader, and then I taught middle school and I very quickly rethought that. So here's my thing. What do you think? What would you choose? While you guys are working, just to show you this, you can, if you click your settings from here, you can pull up the open moderation. That's going to give you all of your students' responses in real time as they're typing them. So you can pull that up on your second screen just to see how everybody's doing, kind of like that pulse check we were looking at in quizzes. And I have a really bad habit of talking throughout the time that I give people to work. So I'm going to close my mouth now and let you guys work.
So we're down to 1 minute, just so you know, it'll cut you off. The more you write, the better you'll get a feel for how the feedback works. But that moderation tool, If you're sort of still kind of dipping your toes into what AI can do for student learning, it looks like it's the settings, but it opens up the tools for you as a teacher there. And it gives you that control. You don't lose that just because AI is involved. So you can see anything anybody writes as the teacher, but students don't have to see any of that. And you can see what the AI is going to do as well, and choose to give it or not. You'll
And I
want to.
also like how CuraPod gives you a little, little reminders. Hey, this is for your eyes only. But just want to give you guys a little sneak peek at what it looks like.
All right, here's the magic.
Okay, so you've got 25 answers right over here. You've got a give feedback button. So you're just going to do that. And you can look at everyone's answer before, like during the time that they're writing, to make sure that you don't want to X somebody out so that their feedback doesn't show up here. But on your screen now, you should see what you wrote, and you should be able to see what your feedback is. As the teacher, if somebody did a really great job, a math whiz, wow. Okay, so you can click on that. And right beside it, so if you want to demonstrate one as sort of like an exemplar to the entire class, you've got right over here what they wrote. You've got right over here what their feedback was. You can talk through the feedback as a class. You can see, did anybody see anything similar? Because many times a lot of students will get some of the same things, like your language. Did you use proper grammar? That's something that's super easy to talk about in an ELA class. If everybody saw some problems with that, well, what specifically did you see? And you might want to do a mini lesson. So it can really help you gauge where your students are at and help you drive instruction at the same time.
So a lot of times in the presentation, we find that this is sometimes people's very first experience with seeing AI feedback from a student perspective. Does anybody want to unmute real quick and just share their thoughts? What they thought, or even a question.
I like the fact that I was able to see the content was there, but then it was explaining I needed to provide more evidence.
Actionable feedback that you got right after you're done. Yes, thank you.
And this is set up on like a professional development, so post high school level. So don't feel like if you are working with 5th grade that their feedback is going to look like this. You would set that up for when you are setting up your lesson. You would let them know that it's 5th grade, and the feedback would look different. It would be, much shorter, maybe not as heavily involved as what you guys are seeing. All right. So here is.
Hold on. Go ahead. You want to say something? Oh, thought somebody was going to say something.
All right. So our second part is, what did you learn from the feedback? So this, I always felt like, was where my students learned the most. Not just from what they saw in their feedback, but could they explain that back to me? Because that's how you're going to know if they really got it or not. So what I always had my students do before we ever left that previous page, we would copy what they wrote, so that if you were going to do a repeat, you could do that. And then that is going to come after this. So your feedback is just, what did you learn? So for instance, our speaker that said that she needed more evidence, you could just type that in. I always told my students, this is just to learn from. I'm not expecting complete sentences here. I'm not expecting any of that stuff. This is kind of like just your brainstorming. What did you learn from your feedback?
What I love about this part that's built in is it encourages them to develop, students to develop metacognition, learning about learning. It's a step we don't often directly teach, and reflection is something we often skip or try to do in the lesson plan, but the bell's ringing and people are running out the door, or they see the clock and we don't get to do it. It's built in, and we have time for it because the feedback was so immediate.
All right, and we're going to cut this off as a minute just so that we're cognizant of time. But just like every other activity in CuraPod that's timed, you can add time here, or you can choose to end the activity here. So if you need less time, you can end it early. If you need more time, you can always add on to it. But we're going to go ahead and choose to end right here. All right, and then just like we had give feedback over on our right-hand bar, we've got results now. So we can hit that. And again, you can use this as a teaching moment with your entire class because you're seeing things that everyone, well, did anybody else make connections? Did anybody else see the need to add more detail in? So those have sparked all kinds of conversations in my classroom that has led to much better overall student writing.
So far, we've had timely and specific, has to be actionable. Now's that part.
Yes. So here is the absolute magic of CuraPod. Now, keep in mind with my 7th grade students, what I would do before we ever left that first screen where they got their initial feedback, I would have had them copy and paste everything that they had written. Okay. And the reason why is that then you've got the opportunity to revise what you have written. So if you're in a room full of 7th graders and you tell them that you want them to write from scratch again, most of them are going to be like, what? So a little trick that I learned is that they could copy and paste their initial answer. And then once they paste it in here, they can make any additions to it. They can make any, delete anything that they found unnecessary, etc. But we're just going to go ahead and show you guys what it's like if you were doing the activity.
And boom. Can now revise it.
So,
Highly specific, actionable. Nailed Hattie's research.
And then once you're done, you can look at, because you're going to get a report at the end of any CuraPod, so you can actually go in and look at how their responses changed from the first time they put it in to the second time. So a super easy way to show growth. And that should give everybody kind of an idea how that works. So if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and end, because definitely my point at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday is not to make you write like a paragraph for a second time. So we're going to go ahead and stop that. And you can also give feedback again, look at it as a classroom, etc. You can also vote on it as a class, which is something I would highly recommend, because then you're getting peer feedback. They can vote for the best ones. You can look at those as your exemplars, and it gives them ownership in what they're doing. It was always hugely popular in my classroom.
To that end, we have 2 virtual learning conferences this coming up year, and there will be sessions on CuraPod specifically for some of the other features. So the next tool, nobody has to write. It'll be just demo. It's called Brisk, and Brisk is unique because it is a extension. It's a Chrome extension. It lives up in your toolbar where all your other extensions live. So instead of going into another platform, you're just working where you normally work. And that's the beauty of it. You don't have to go to another tool. People can just work in Google. And hey, Kayla. And then by using Brisk, if they can just work in the tools that they're familiar with, the main tool, that we have, Google, yet it will give the same wonderful instant specific feedback. And so I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that. I'll take over the screen now.
And just a little note real quick, right here, you do see some links in for all of the tools in your presentation. So you can use these up here to directly access the tool, and then you have a sample or an example down here as well.
So let's see, let's bounce on over. I have so many tabs. Which one do I choose? This one is the correct one. 27 tabs, 20 across 4 screens, 27.4. All right. So this is just a sample essay of the balcony scene from Romeo and Juliet. I generated it on ChatGPT at a certain level, said, make it, like a typical student. And so this right here is the brisk extension. You can make it disappear. It lives up here, and it's gone. I tend to have it out always because it's just a tool that lives where I already work. I'm not going, oh, go to this website, go to this place. I'm in Google. And it just happens to be a nice little friend hanging out. I can move it around on the screen. I'll put it here in the middle. And so I'm going to hit the brisk icon, and I come up. I can create. I can do, a bunch of things. We'll have a brisk session at our virtual learning conferences coming up as well, so we can learn about all those. Today, we're just going to focus on give feedback. So students turn this in. Let's say they turn it into Google Classroom. You open it up. Your brisk icon will be there already waiting for you, and you just hit give feedback. They have now added, it's not released yet, but I'm giving you inside information. I talked with Brian from Brisk the other day. It'll be ready next week. At the release of ISTE, as Brisk starters, we kind of know you can do this in batches. So you can do the whole group in a folder is coming up release. So I'm going to show you, even one at a time is amazing, but it'll do it in batches very soon. I'm going to hit targeted at first, and then I'm going to show you glow and grow. Targeted is really good. It's super specific. It is the paid feature, but you get it. You get a free trial of the paid right away. And every once in a while, you can find ways to re-up that free trial if you're paying attention to social media. But I'm going to set it for 9th grade because that's what I had this written as. And the targeted style, there are other styles of feedback. You can attach a rubric. Next step, just tell them what to do next. But we'll go targeted, and you can go and put your standards in. They're already there. You can attach your own rubric. If that's what you gave the students, you can attach it to there. You can tell the AI specifically focus on whatever it is. I'm purposely not attaching a standard rubric or even giving instructions to show you that just all by its own self, how good this is. So you hit brisket, and it's going to read the essay really quick. And using Google's own native features, the comment system that you can use on any Google Doc, it starts giving feedback. So it's going through, it's highlighting parts using the Google comment feature that's already built into Google. It works where you work. It works with familiar tools in Google. And you can rate the response if you want to give brisk feedback. But you go through and you can say, literary analysis, depth. It's going through a lot of things because I didn't tell it what to look for, have a rubric. So it's just reading it where it needs to give the feedback. And if you say, you know what, I really don't want this on there, you can hit cancel. But if you feel that you want to give that comment, I can hit comment and it'll leave it for the students. And I will go ahead and say that what Christy will usually say at this point is you can edit this, and that her students would know that she didn't do it if you didn't say what.
You got to say y'all in there somewhere. So if you want to give it more your voice, if you didn't like the feedback for any reason, you can change it, edit it so that it suits your needs and your voice.
So the feedback doesn't automatically post. Every one of these is like a Google comment. It writes it out for you. And like I just did, if I wanted to cancel it, no, if I hit comment, it goes onto the doc for the student to see. So you are 100% in control of it. You can change it. You can read it before you give it. And so we're going to go ahead and cancel those because I'm going to show the other way. And sometimes you don't want that detail, or you don't have the paid version. That is okay, because the free one, Glow and Grow, is sometimes better. It's simply because it's not so detailed and overwhelming. It's a little more global feedback. But watch, I'm going to hit give feedback, Glow and Grow. That's a free feature. I love it when some of these AI tools, they have some really great paid features, but like Curipod and Brisk both have really generous free features. This would save teachers so much time. Again, I won't hit standards. I won't hit the rubric. I won't even tell it what to look for. I'm just going to hit brisket. and it's going to read the essay
the entire time, and I still use the Grow and Glow.
So now you'll see it says, I'm going to go ahead, I can copy it and put it somewhere, but I'm just going to hit insert, and wherever my cursor is, you can drop at the top or bottom. It's right there for the student to see. So think of you working in your LMS, student turns it in, you click the brisket, you click that and go, and then you can change any of that before you tell the student. So it tells some glows, you've done a great job of summarizing. It goes to grows. Consider discussing how this scene sets up future conflicts in the play. We've done this presentation close to a dozen times. Every time I hit go and grow, it says this. So it's pretty consistent in its assessment of, and then wonders. How do you think the scene would be different if these are not necessary, but they're higher level that you could then do something else with. If you don't want the wonders, you can just delete that. If you just want the glows and grows, but it's there for you, and it's fast, and it goes back to research-based feedback. It's timely, it's specific, and now because of that, they can do something about it without moving on beyond the pacing guide, and they forgot about this assignment because they're off to the other things. So that's it for Brisk. We'll have more sessions on it later, but it is so powerful to be able to give this feedback consistently. And there's 2 tools, and we've got 2 more in 23 minutes. So hey,
it's like your targeted feedback. The Glow and Grow is also completely editable. So if it says anything that you didn't like or you don't want to discuss or get into, you are able to edit that as well. All right.
I'll pass control back to you for while I get this set up. This is a new kid on the block, and we're just getting involved with this. It's exciting. If it connects with you, definitely find the Facebook group and join, because there's a bunch of people starting to explore this and seeing what they can do. So go ahead.
So this one is super new, but I see so much potential for it in classrooms. So I do want to show you some of the things it can do so much, but it does do feedback as well. So I actually had to open things on a different account. So let me present as a screen, actually. All right, here we go. All right, everybody see that? Did that pop up correctly?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, so here is your dashboard in TeachShare, and all you're going to do is enter a topic, and then you can do different things with it. So I'm going to share a little story with you guys about when I started teaching. Okay, I'm from Alabama. All of my history courses that were state specific were Alabama. Okay, so I get to Georgia, and they're like, "You're going to teach Georgia history," and I'm like, "Do what? Huh?" And so I had no background in Georgia history, and here I am teaching it. One of the first things that you have to teach in the history of Georgia is the establishment of Savannah. It was the first settlement in Georgia. Makes sense, right? Well, there's this really important Native American in that story, Tomochichi. Anybody ever heard of him? Because I hadn't. I'm like, I got to teach Tomo who? So here is one thing that I think would be amazing for new teachers, because you might get stuck in a subject that you don't necessarily feel prepared for. You might get moved into a subject and you don't have all of the things that you've had for the past 10 years. So we're just going to put in Tomochichi, and you guys are all like, Tomo who? I know, because I was. And the establishment of Savannah. And you can do a couple of things here. You can choose your grade level. This was 8th grade. When I taught 8th grade, you've got standards here. So we are going to, North Carolina is in there. I just thought Tomochichi is a fantastic example. So we are going to choose Georgia. It'll pop this up, and you can come down here, or you can type them in here. We're going to select social studies. We've got our grade. And then here, we're going to select this, select your standard, and you can search it by keyword. So Tomo, the only thing that's going to pop up in all the Georgia standards is this one standard on Tomochichi, right? So we're going to click that, add our standards, and you can choose, is this something you've already taught and you want to assess it? Do you want to review it? We're going to just introduce it. And if you have anything that you're going on, like if you are building this from a video you've had them watch, you can add links here. You can upload files if you're like, okay, I want it to be based on this PDF that I have. But you don't have to. So we're going to leave that off. We're going to let it make it from scratch without anything else.
This is the gold right here.
You've got all of these different research-based strategies that you can build right into your lesson. So he's already told you guys that he's a Hattie fanboy. So we're going to go here and get Hattie, right? And then we're going to select this boost. And here's another thing that I absolutely love. I know this has happened to you before. You're teaching and you know what you want. You're planning for your next lesson. You know what you want, but you don't know how to say it when you're prompting AI. You're like, okay, this is what I want to end up with, but I don't know how to get AI to give me this. So they've got enhanced my request. So all I did was type in Tomochichi and establish my Savannah. And then I'm going to press my tab key. And it is going to think for a little bit, probably because I have so many tabs open, and give me this incredible prompt that I would have never been able to write myself. If you don't like something about the prompt, just like we were talking about in Brisk, it is completely editable. You can go in, add things, you can take things out. If you're like, actually, I don't want to get into their, actually, this is exactly from the standard. There's nothing you would want to take out. But just in case there is, it's completely editable, so you can take it out. Then all you do is hit this little generate resource, and you get something that looks like this. So now you've got an activity, you've got illustrations that come in with it, you've got a timeline, all of these things that you can use and do. So you can do a couple of things with this. You can share it over here. You can assign it online so that the students get a link. You can post it straight to their Google Classroom. You can download it as a PDF so that they can, you can print it out and you can do it in class. Great for subs. And then also, this is one of my favorites because those little new teachers I was talking about, gold. You can copy this resource link and share it with your whole team so that everybody can use the same resource.
Teach, share.
When you are done, you get an auto-graded. So I went ahead and pulled in an assignment. I did this super quick, so don't judge my answers. I just wanted to be able to show you something. Over here, you've got your student insights. So you'll hit get grade. It'll give you all of this feedback about how your student did overall. And you can share this with your students. Or you can go by question over here, and up here, it'll give you feedback specific to each of those questions. So if you only want to look at one question on the assignment, you can just choose one to look at. If you want to look at multiple ones, you can give feedback for the entire thing. So I'm very excited about the possibilities of where this program can go. If you are at all interested, give them a look-see. It is pretty cool, in my opinion.
So I'm going to just say that when you go to any of those AI tools, some of you probably have gone to various tools out there and they say, oh, we can generate your lesson plans for you. You click on them, they don't give you anything. They give you a to-do list. They say, oh, show a video that, then do this experiment. And you're like, okay, what video? And then it'll say, well, I can't suggest a video, but I can give you some search terms. And so all it did was create a bunch more work for me when I was using it to save time. TeachShare takes what you would have put into there and gives you the actual resources and then puts them in a a place so that you can give them feedback on that. Christy, there's questions about how you share with students. You want to comment on that real quick? So there's a Google Classroom integration.
Question. Oh, now I see it. Yes, you can add it straight into Google Classroom. And how is it assigned to students? You can do it either way. You can do it with that link so that they just answer here, or you can add it into Google Classroom. So if you don't use Google Classroom, they've got the link option. But here is what Dave was talking about, where you can get the answer key, you can view where they got it from, and then all of this is ideas about how you can teach your lesson. So this will tell you about what you can say about the pictures that it generated. So like Dave was saying, so many places say show this video or, you know, do this activity. Well, they're telling you exactly what to think about and what to emphasize while you're doing those activities, how you can scaffold it for different learners. So there's really a lot of great stuff that teachers can use in here.
And it's like those lesson plan generators, but what you wanted them to do. And you can go in and give instant feedback. So check them out. There's a growing, people are just starting to get on board with this. Get in on the ground, and you can see, and they'll take feedback, and you can help shape it, and where it grows to the tool that you need. All right, we're going to finish up with one last one. Maybe we'll have time for questions. Okay, the last one today is still one of the tools that can do timely, specific, and therefore actionable feedback. It's called Snorkel. I'm already logged in, but if you go to snorkel.app, SNORKL.com, you'll probably end up with some scuba diving site if you do that. I'll put that in there. Snorkel is, some of you might remember a tool from a long while ago. You know, what is it? Gosh, maybe even 15 years back at this point. It came out when iPads were really getting steam, and it was called Explain Everything. And they had a few other versions like it, like EduCreations. And you would go on your iPad, and you could talk to it, put pictures on it, write on it, type on it, you know, text, and it would record it as a video. I mean, that was all you could do at the time, but it was pretty good because then you could then share the video with the teacher, and you were explaining it with a whole lot of tools. I used to use that where they would explain a math problem. We'd play them all. We had built a rubric together, and they'd have to give feedback with them. It was still a nice way of doing it. This is Explain Everything, but with AI feedback, and it's amazing. So what you do is you go to Snorkel, and you set up classes. They can go right here into Snorkel, and whenever you need them to join, you just hit share, and it'll put up the code, and they join right in, and then it creates a little whiteboard with your question, any images you put in there to help, and it will then immediately give them feedback. But the great thing about it is, let me just show you a sample activity, what it looks like, so you can see it a little bit more. I have to change tabs because I shared a tab, not a whole window. So let me present something else. This one. And so I clicked on, I'm in Studio. From the dashboard here, you can just click share, and it'll give a join code, and it just opens up a whiteboard. And so you can find activities. They already have a ton there, and they integrate it with Jump Math, and they've added reading and writing. They keep adding ones that are already done for you. If you want to create one, I put in my own graphics for box and whisker plots, and then it said, do you want to write the rubric, or do you want us to start? Recommended, and then you can tweak it, and it does a really good job of instantly building the rubric. I only tweaked one once in all of the problems I made teaching math with it. And so I'm going to show you from some perspective, trying a sample activity. They have just for you to get used to it or try it with people. And so they have ones that are based on topics, and you can see you have them in Spanish. But Spoon or fork, mac and cheese. This is one that's just kind of fun to do in a PD setting. And what I'll hit response. I just got this one ready today, so it says resume. And it says, would you rather use a spoon or a fork to eat macaroni and cheese? Give 2 reasons to support your answers. You'll see up at the top that you have text. You can write. There's the math tools. There's drawing shapes. You can import an image that you're going to use, or maybe you've drawn. You have all the tools you need to interact with it, but you don't even need them. You can click record and talk. You can do a combination of what you wrote and talk. It knows all of it, and it'll give you a response. So I'll just go ahead and kind of demo that real quick. It's starting. And I say, would I rather use a spoon or a fork to eat macaroni and cheese? I would rather have the option. It depends. If it's thick mac and cheese, I'd probably like to use a fork, but sometimes people too make it with it's a little more runny, and I want to get all the cheese, so it'd be a spoon. So the 2 reasons: one, it's based on its thickness and consistency, and the other reason is I like to have choices. And so you can type all that out. You can do it any way you want. And then I have to hit submit. So if I want to keep working as a student, I can keep working. When I'm ready to submit, I will submit it up to Snorkel, and the AI will grade it based on the rubric that was already generated. It's pretty amazing. One of the things that you can put up pictures, like from a box and whisker plot like I did, but you can use it for anything. Eric Kurtz blew the whole paradigm of this because he's like, use it for fluency. And he put passages and made the rubric on based on the student reading fluency. Now, I'd like to point this out. I got a 2 out of 4. It says I gave good reasons about when to use each utensil based on the mac and cheese thickness. Could you pick just one utensil you prefer? So the rubric is they have to pick one. I knew that because I've seen the rubric, but I noticed your second reason was about liking choices. How could you give a specific reason why either a fork or a spoon? It keeps taking me back to the prompt. I have to choose. It's wanting to force a choice. The question asked you, basically, it's telling you you didn't answer the question. I can click this to hear it read back to me. But the beauty of this is that it's just like Edpuzzle or Play Pause It when it plays it back. You see the little red dot here? That's a point when it decided I needed feedback. And that corresponds to over here. And this red dot over here. The longer you do the feedback, the more it will give you those points of feedback. Now I can go up. That was a one where I can actually do things on a screen. Touch screen works great, but you can do it with a mouse, and you have every tool for whatever device you're using. That was timely, that was actionable, and timely specific, but it's actionable because up here, as the student, I can hit respond again. I have noticed that with a lot of the math problems, 3 was a really good answer. They wanted things past that. And so some students would get like really frustrated trying to get that 4. But the 3, I knew they knew based on the rubric. But you can get just a myriad of applications for this. And if you don't know a tool to use, you're like, well, they got to draw, or they have to be creative, or I just want them to talk. Snorkel is something that you really might want to consider. I think Snorkel is underrated and an amazing tool. So with that in mind, I think that's all 4 tools. All 4 tools meet the specifications for John Hattie's research. The costs of these, that's a good question. Here's the thing. CuraPod has a really robust features. The cost of it is the paid version. The cost, I don't know individual teacher costs or school costs. I know like district level costs. But the paid version gives you access to the standardized test prep and some more advanced AI. But we didn't show anything that didn't have a quality free version. There's things with free versions that are
Okay.
that.
Now I'm about to be you because I'm going to cut you off.
Cut me off.
Yeah. So I'm going to present over you. He's talking because we only have a couple minutes left. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to get something before I leave a PD. Don't y'all? Like, I like to get something.
About this.
And I mean, today is Wayground's like big announcement, right? They're not quizzes anymore. But how many of you guys know and love quizzes? Anybody? Anybody know and love quizzes? It's what we presented in today. It's got all these fun AI tools. Who would like to have quizzes free for a year? Anybody? Does that sound like fun? So, one of my very favorite things in quizzes is the wheel. Now, in my classroom, I would use this wheel for all kinds of things like extra dojo points or who I was going to pick on next. So the wheel can be however you want it to be, but we're going to give somebody a free quizzes. So let's see. Now I feel like I'm on like Wheel. No, it wasn't Wheel of Fortune. What was the one where they did the Price is Right? That's what I feel like I'm on. All right, William, are you still here with us? If so, if you, yay, hey, Suzanne. All right. If you want to, if you don't feel comfortable putting your email address in the chat, which you can if you'd like, if you don't feel comfortable with that, if you want to send it to today, you can get that to me, and I will make sure that I follow up and get you a year of free Wayground.
I will go ahead and put my email. Right, and you can just fire off an email, and I will make sure to get that back to you. I almost forgot about the wheel.
So if you haven't checked out Wayground, you definitely want to give that a check out as well. The class insights we looked at the beginning are there. The wheel is one of the most interesting things. And literally, you can do anything in quizzes because we told you about all these different tools right here from Wayground. So it is an absolutely incredible ed tech platform.
Yeah, that's why they had to change the name. We should present in quizzes. So I'm like, why? We're not going to give them a quiz. I had no idea. Over the 8 years since I last checked it out, it has become a do everything app. So definitely have fun with that. Oh, yes, there is. And you know that. Thanks for reminding me. I am going to go ahead and put that up. I forget to record all the time, and I forget this part. So let me get to that actual tab. There it is. Right here. Johnston County folks, you can go ahead and I'll put that in the present mode so it's easy for you to see. Why? Got it. Why is it saying audience window in a full screen mode? Where is that? It's hiding in all my tabs. I'll just I will go ahead and do this a little different. I'll hit present and I'll put just full screen mode there. Johnston County folks, scan that. And you can go ahead and get, put you right into get your CEUs. Everyone can scan. Okay. If you are from out of our county, you will still get a certificate generated and sent to you that you can go ahead and submit from whatever policies your district does. Ours, we have to show the certificate of completion of in a certain feature. Hopefully your district has that. Can't speak to that, but you can speak to your PD coordinators. And if you're local here, it'll take care of its. It'll give you the same certificate, and you'll be able to do the same. So thank you so much for joining us. Hope to see you on some of the coming weeks and some of the other ones. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and send them to me, and I will answer them. Or if I can't, I will forward them on to Christy, who will answer them about specific tools.
Thank you so much for letting me come hang out with you this morning. I really appreciate it.
Thank you both. This was great.
Go ahead. Anybody has a question, you can just ask it. I'll be hanging out here as everybody heads out. This looks like a conference. People stay around, come to the presenters.
Hey, Sarah, what's up? Do you have a question?
Maybe she's doing what I do.
I was on mute. I'm talking away. Is there any way that you could do like a little mini session of some of these tools that we've learned about for some staff at the beginning of the year for some from school-based PD?
Yes, absolutely. We can. We want to. So just send us an email, put it into to Michelle K and myself.
Okay.
And just say you're interested in scheduling some of this, and we'll work with you to get out there. And we can come during the year. We can come for a whole day and just have the PLCs run through us.
Yes, sir.
If that's an idea, we used to do that. So we come and as your teams go through their time, you work it out with them, and they can come rotate through us, or we can do an after school, whatever. We just have to work out the time that works for our schedule and yours, but we will work something out. We would love to do that.
Thank you, because I just think it's great, and I think I could share a little bit, but I'm not going to be the expert to share, and I just think that having this available for our teachers would be great. Thank you so much.
You are absolutely welcome.